Scrappy Peep, Suzanna here today for Simple Stories, and I'm sharing with you this multi-photo layout of our cat. It's actually a Easter layout per se. I am using the Let's Get Crafty collection. So I'm going to use this 12 by 12 piece as the foundation page for the layout, and then I'm going to add different layers. So this format of layout is something that is kind of a go-to for me if I get stuck. I like to use 2 4x6 photos, or in my case they're usually 4 by 5 by almost 5.5, and then a row of either 4 by 3s, or in this case these are, I want to say these are like 2 by 2 squares that I just happened to have printed together and didn't. I could have cut them apart with thin white borders if I wanted, but I liked them as a strip. So I have props for photos, for scrapbook photos, and one of them for Easter is a carrot, and Jasmine found the carrot, and Jasmine decided that Jasmine was going to turn my photo prop carrot into a cat toy carrot. And so these are just pictures of her on my rug in my scrapbook room. It's actually not even a rug, it's a throw. And so she is playing with those. So I want to tuck these photos into this really awesome floral border here. So I am just going to use my X-Acto blade to fussy cut outside the edges of some of these florals in order to be able to tuck those photos in. I still want you to be able to see the carrot, but you do lose a little bit of the carrot on the left hand side, but you do see that she's licking her tongue, which I really liked that particular photo. So I just went ahead and skipped all of that so that you didn't have to. You get the idea. You want to move the paper. And so to draw attention to the orange carrot, I am going to back one of these photos with this particular orange here. I am going to also just tear off the edge instead of cut it, because I want to soften the paper because I do have a lot of right angles that are going to occur here. I didn't cut myself enough room in order to tuck the photos there, so I have to do an additional little bit of fussy cutting here, and those are literally going to tuck behind that floral so that you then see the cat and her carrot popping out from behind there. Now I am not going to cover the back of that and clean that up, because literally it's just going to go into a pocket, and so I know that I just will have to lift it as I'm moving that into the page protector there. So I have a header that is going to provide balance to the footer, which is those florals of the page there. I am going to thin that down a little bit and add some layers into it, because it's really, there's not a lot of, it's just bold. It's kind of in your face, and it needs to be softened a little bit. I also want a little bit more white space above those photos, so I will, after the fact, go in and cut that down. So as you can see, I have not pre-planned this layout. I'm literally flying by the seat of my pants. Sometimes I know what I'm going to do ahead of time. Other times I'm just making up it as I go along. This is one of those occasions where I'm making it up as I go along. So I really like that pink piece with the ruler there, and I like the pink contrast that it adds to the pink with the flowers that are down below. It also makes me think of a cutting mat that I had ages ago. And so and because she's in the craft room and using a prop from my craft stuff, they're just sort of insignificant significances. They were insignificant to other people, but significant to me, meaningful. And so that's why I went with that. So as you all know, if you follow my work, these tags are my absolute favorite from Simple Stories. I use them probably with every collection on every layout. And so I would be amiss if I did not use one on a page. And so again, I went with that pink because I felt like there was a lot of pink in the florals down below, and I needed the contrast of pink elsewhere in the layout to just pull it together and provide some unity and a cohesive whole there. Now I didn't like the flower just poking out as it the tag just poking out as it was. So the idea was that I would tuck it into the flowers as well, and so that you had a cohesive look all the way across. However, you will see once I do that it just, I don't know, there's something missing there, and you'll see as I stick it in there. It just doesn't, it looks fine, but it just feels like I could do something to pull it together a little bit better. And so I will come up with that solution in a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and stick it in there because I know I'm going to use that. And maybe I'm going to fix it. Nope, I got to get the alignment of these things first. So this is where that white space balance is really bothering me, or the lack thereof. And this is where I decide to pull up, I think. This is where I decide to pull up that strip there. Nope, I'm going to go ahead and work on this bottom piece here. So I really liked that word happy because she was super happy and content with her carrot. And so I didn't initially really want to cover up the tops of those flowers because I wanted that line that matched the line of the layers and the strips that are up top. But it actually, the way that the word is, provides a line, a subtle line instead. And it also gives me a place, A, to have my title, but B, it also gives me a place where I can soften those borders per se. So I'm going to just go ahead and stick that right there. And then that way the tag is poking out from behind the word, and it gives it a cohesive whole. And so I'm going to pop this flower so that the flower, there's layers, there's multiple layers to this, as you can see. So the flower will now go on top of the happy instead of the other things that are being tucked behind. So creating a multi-dimensional effect with that there. I love that this is a crafty collection, but I was able to use it for a non-crafty page of Jasmine. And my tie-in here for me is that she is in my craft room, using one of my craft supplies per se. So I've taken care of the bottom there. I'm just going to put a little bit of fine detail in, but now I am looking for a few more embellishments. There's so many great things to choose from. I mean, the sticker book alone has a bazillion stickers in it, and you don't need to buy much more in the way of embellishments. So I'm just kind of sifting through to see what fits. Sure, I could look at the back where they're all pictured, but what I like about this is the proportion. I can see the proportion of the actual embellishment to what it is that I have on my page and how that is going to fit in the grand scheme of contrast and depth as well as other things. So you can see I've used one of those sorts of things before on the International Scrapbook Day layout that I did. And I liked that green, but it got lost in the green of that background strip there. So I like the floral because it pulls the floral from the bottom row, I'm just going to call it, to the top there. And then I want to have a couple of words just because I like phrases, the phrases that are scattered throughout. They're sort of subtitles to the page. So that is a sticker from the sticker book that says yes please, because it's on the photo where she's licking her lips per se and saying yes please carrot, I'm going to play with this carrot. And of course you have to have a heart because we all love our pets, right? I'm totally a cat lady, and so I have to have a heart there, and I just like that little different texture of color that pulls into it. So I am going to go ahead and put this up there. I'm still not content at this point, and I may end up doing it off camera. What I end up doing is I end up shortening that strip there, so there's a little bit more white space between the photo, and pull some things up. But I am going to put these flowers on top of that top left photo, and I'm going to pop it up with some foam. I am still working on this roll of foam from ThermoWeb. It's never ending, and it's perfect. And then I like the way that this breaks up the florals just a little bit. I could have journaled in there, or I could have written the date, but sometimes I like labels just left blank. They don't have to serve a particular print purpose, but maybe a design purpose. So that just pulled a little bit more white space. And so the title of this layout ends up becoming Pretty and Happy, because I wanted to use the ampersand in there. It did take out room that I needed for journaling, but it really, what is there to say other than she decided to steal my scrapbook prop. So I like the little black sticker up there that says Happy Girl, because she's got a lot of black in her, and it just pulls a little bit of black into the rest of the layout for contrast and balance. And if you know me, you know I'm all about contrast and balance. I'm going to create a little cluster up here in the top right so that you get this visual triangle that moves from the floral in the top left to those florals in the top right of that photo, down to the title that says Pretty and Happy. So while they aren't all the same, you still have the 3 florals, and it pulls your eye through the title as well as the pictures and the journaling there. So that's going to wrap it up, my friends. Enjoy the close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. Come back again soon. Take care.